Hi, this is Mark Richards, creator of CandidatesChair.com. Thanks for visiting the site and joining me for this free seminar on you and the outplacement firm. The purpose of this seminar is to help you get the most out of your outplacement. I was fortunate in my own job transition to have outplacement services, so I'll share my experiences, but also the insights of my colleagues in the outplacement business. I'll do this in 6 areas. First, whether you should use outplacement. Second, the mindset you need to be successful. Third, the process that you'll go through. Fourth, understanding your consultant skill and why that's important. Fifth, what I consider the real gold in outplacement. And sixth, interviewing your consultant. When I think of job search on my own versus job searching with outplacement, it's like this. They both get you up to where you want to be, but I think that outplacement, if used properly, just makes the ride a lot smoother. So let's start with whether or not you should use outplacement. If it's offered to you, I think my advice is pretty clear. If you're considering buying it yourself, it's really worth strong consideration. I look at outplacement much like why people hire personal fitness coaches so they can reach their fitness goals sooner. Outplacement has the same potential in helping you reach your job sooner. The higher you go up in compensation, the economics of outplacement start to make a lot more sense, because if you can shave a few months off your search, it more than pays for itself. But most importantly, if you should use outplacement, whether you're going to buy it or it's being offered to you, is make sure that you're in the right state of mind. So let's talk about that. Here's what I think is the necessary mindset to get the most out of your outplacement. First, you just have to be willing to examine yourself. Where you're going to go all starts with where you are today. You have to understand your skill set, your needs and desires to make sure that you not only take the right path to look for that job, but actually look for the job that fits you best. Second, you have to be willing to take critical feedback. We all tend to gravitate towards things that we're most comfortable with, but not everything in job search is comfortable. And so a consultant will help you work through your weak points in order to get the most out of your outplacement services. It's very important, but trust me, it's not always easy. Lastly, you have to have the desire to work a process and share results. Outplacement is no different than any other project you've done at work. You have to have a plan, you follow the plan, you track your results, and you report your results. If on any of these 3 things you're not ready to do, it's best to probably wait so that you get the most out of the time and the money that you invest in the outplacement. Third, using the process. One of the arguments I get against using outplacement is that the process is cookie cutter. And the reality is that everyone's process is pretty much the same. There may be a few steps here and there that are different, but they are pretty close to one another. But that's okay, because really every process is a beginning point. And it's the role of the consultant to help you make the process work for you, to help you get through the things that you're not comfortable with so that you own it. Because ultimately, it's not the consultant's role, but it's your job to make sure the process works. And third, for me, there's nothing wrong with a good process or plan. If it keeps you focused, keeps you going in the right direction, and keeps your psyche strong, that's a great thing in job search. Fourth is understanding your consultant skills. I look at outplacement in 4 big areas. Assessment, helping you understand where you're at today. Communication, which is putting together your pitch. The process, which is getting out and networking. And selling skills, which is helping pitch yourself to companies so that you can show how you match what they need. What I find is that most consultants are proficient in all those areas, but they're generally really good in 1 or 2. So if you understand that, then you can use either other consultants or other resources to help you get the best advice for each area of your outplacement services. So now we come to what I consider is the real gold of outplacement, and that is the alumni and your fellow candidates, because their willingness to help you is just simply amazing, because they've been in the exact same spot that you are. I started with people who sought a job similar to my own, just because their connections and experiences were much more relevant to my own search. But I also went to other candidates in other fields, just because you never know where that networking connection is going to come from, and there's always something to learn. Lastly, I asked each of the candidates that I met to share things that worked for them and those that did not, because I could learn equally from each. So here's a tip when you're selecting your outplacement. Understand your access to alumni and fellow candidates, because they are really the gold. And the more access that you have, the more value your outplacement will have to you. So here's your chance to do a little interviewing. These are questions I like to ask consultants just because it gives me a sense of their experience. First is whether or not they've been in transition, and second, if it's been over 6 months. After 6 months, you tend to hit the wall a little bit more. Did their search require over 100 networking meetings? Because networking is so important to job search, Again, important to understand what they've done. And third, what level of position do they seek? That's important because I want to understand how close it is to the job that I'm seeking. Understanding their experience will let you know where they can help you. I've actually met several consultants who have never been in transition. When it comes to assessment and communication, I think they do just as well as anyone else. When it comes to process and selling, then what they can offer you is their other candidates' experiences. So you'll want to seek some additional advice in those areas. When using outplacement firms, here's some expectations you should go in with as well. First, you are always in control of your search. It's not the consultant's job to find you that work. It's still up to you. That being said, it's really your level of energy and the amount of networking you do that will determine how long you're in search. And third, you should have an expectation that it's more efficient and effective than being on your own. And if you're doing your part and it doesn't feel that way, then don't be shy to push your consultant to make that happen for you. I would like to thank Jack, Teresa, Nancy, and John, who've shared great insight into the world of Outplacement with me. Once again, this is Mark Richards, creator of CandidatesChair.com. Thanks for visiting and good luck today.